Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we will be talking about the NHL, and more specifically round 1 of the NHL playoffs. If you don't know what the playoffs are, they're so it's like 16 teams make it into the NHL, or make it to the NHL playoffs. The top 16 teams. So let me go to the regular season standings. So here. So one sec. Okay, so there is four divisions in the NHL. 2 Western divisions and 2 Eastern divisions. 3 teams in all divisions make it, and then for each conference, so there's an Eastern Conference and a Western Conference. There are 2 teams the top 2 teams that aren't in the top 3 for either division. These 2, so in this case it would be Boston and Washington. On the other side, it's Dallas and Nashville. They also make it because then that rounds out the 16. So and then so they all play in round 1 matchups, and then they move on. The winners of the best of 7. So the winners of that, the first round playoffs, then move on to the second round. The winners of those move on to the conference finals, and then the 2 winners from those move on to face in the Stanley Cup finals, and the winner of that wins the Stanley Cup. So yeah, that's just a brief explanation. So now we're going to talk about the first round so far. So the first round started on May 2nd, so let me just go to scores. Let me go back to May 2nd. Okay, so Monday, May 2nd. So 4 teams played on May 2nd. It was Carolina versus Boston, Toronto versus Tampa Bay, Minnesota versus St. Louis, and Edmonton versus Los Angeles. So we're just gonna go into each game, and we're gonna watch. We're just gonna go through the recaps of the game, the full game recap. I'm gonna try to explain it the best I can. So before each one, I'm gonna say who scored. So the first goal for Carolina went to Seth Jarvis. The second one went to Nino Niederreiter. The only goal for Boston went to Taylor Hall. Then Carolina scored again, and that one was Teuvo Teravainen, if I'm saying that correctly. Then the fourth goal for Carolina went to Vincent Torchev, and then the last one for Carolina went to Andrei Sergachev. I'm not good at pronouncing them. So now we're just gonna watch the 3-minute recap of the game.
With Honda's most capable SUV lineup ever, you can do more than you.
Your sound off. So yeah, the playoffs again. 16 teams make it, and 1 wins. So here we go. The Boston Bruins against Carolina Hurricanes, game 1. In the first period, you might be able to tell from like a minute ago, nobody scored, so we're just gonna, in the second period, so obviously nobody scored. So they're gonna show the goal right here. They got it. Carolina comes around and probably coming up right there. Big shot, and it goes in the net. So they get the first goal. Okay, then Carolina gets it again, gets it back to the defense, and they get it back, and they shoot it in the net again, and they score. In the third period, Boston then has it. They take a shot, it doesn't go in the net. Boston gets it back in the corner, and loops it around, puts it right in the middle, and they score. And so that was their only goal. And Carolina came in and they scored. They came right down in the middle, and it was a beautiful pass and a beautiful shot. And so that was that one. I missed the other one. And they looped around. Oh, and what a goal! Shot it right at his back and went in it. And then Boston tried to get in the end, and Carolina passed it up again, and with the net empty, they scored. And that was game 1. I'm not going to do this for each game because that'll take forever, but I will do a summary of what happened. I just want to show you how we go. On like how it works, if you don't know. So, yeah. Okay. So Toronto won 5-0. So Tampa Bay didn't score any goals. In the first period, Jake Muzzin scored. Then in the second period, Austin Matthews scored. David Kemp scored. Mitch Martin scored. And then in the third period, Austin Matthews scored again. In St. Louis, David Perron scored in the first period. Ryan O'Reilly scored. In the second period, David Perron scored again. And in the third period, David Perron got a hat trick and scored, making it 4-0 with the win to go into St. Louis. And the final one on May 2nd, Trevor Moore scored for Los Angeles. And then Alex Iafallo scored in the first period for Edmonton. Connor McDavid scored. In the second period, Brendan Lemieux scored. That was for Los Angeles. And in the second period for Edmonton, Kelly Yamamoto scored, and Leon Draisaitl scored. And in the third period, Philip Deneau scored for Los Angeles, and Edmonton did not get any goals in the third period. On May the 3rd, Pittsburgh won in third overtime. I watched that game. It was not fun. And I missed the last goal, so I had to watch the replay. Regretted everything. Anyway, so in the first period, Pittsburgh didn't score. In the second period, Jake Gensel scored. Jake Gensel scored again. Ryan Rush scored. In the first period for New York, Adam Fox scored. In the second period, Andrew Kopp scored. And also Chris Kreider scored. In the third period, no one scored. And then in the first overtime, no one scored. In the second overtime, no one scored. And in the third overtime, New York didn't score. It was Evgeny Malkin of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Washington won 4-2. On May the 3rd, and you can just look, it was Tom Wilson in the first. Is Evgeny Kuznetsov in the third. TJ Oshie and Lars Eller. That was for Washington. In the first period, Sam Bennett scored. In the second period, Claude Giroux scored. And no one scored in the third for Florida. For Nashville, they lost 7-2 against Colorado. Matt Duchene scored in the second, and Matt Duchene scored in the third. Nathan MacKinnon scored. Devon Toews scored. Andrew Cogliano scored. Kale McCarr scored. Artturi Lehkonen scored. That was all in the first period. In the second period, Gabriel Landeskog scored. And in the third period, Nathan MacKinnon scored. And finally, the Calgary Flames won 1-0 over the Dallas Stars. Dallas didn't get any goals in the first, second, or third period, and Elias Lindholm scored in the first. this is already a 10-minute video, so, yeah. I'm just gonna show you, I'm doing this on NHL.com, so obviously, you can go check this out, on your own, or, if you want to, you can search it up on YouTube, or, better yet, if you want to just know the scores, you can go to my Instagram. But, we got Carolina winning Game 2 against Boston, 5-2. Tampa Bay tying the series against Toronto, and they won 5-3. The Minnesota Wild tying the series, and they won 6-2. And Edmonton tying the series against Los Angeles, 6-0. On Thursday, May 5th, the New York Rangers won 5-2 against Pittsburgh. Florida won 5-1 against the Washington Capitals. The Colorado Avalanche won 2-1 in overtime against Nashville. Big step down in goals from Game 1. And Dallas tied the series at 1, winning 2-0 in Game 2. On Friday, May 6th, Boston won 4-2, shortening the series lead 2-1. Toronto went up 2-1 in the series, winning 5-2. Minnesota Wild took a 2-1 series lead, winning 5-1. And Edmonton Oilers took a 2-1 series lead, winning 8-2. If you were a Kings fan, I'm sorry. A lot of high-scoring games. It's not usually like this in the playoffs. It's usually there's a lot less scoring. But Washington won 6-1 in Game 3, taking a 2-1 series lead. Colorado won 7-3 in Game 3, taking a 3-0 lead. It's a 7-4 win from the Penguins, the Pittsburgh Penguins, taking a 2-1 series lead. And Dallas taking a 4-2 win in Game 3, taking a 2-1 series lead. Tonight, as of filming this on May 9th, Colorado has a chance to win and move on to the second round, which is called the sweep. And yesterday, on Sunday, May 8th, Boston tied the series at 5-2. So did the Blues against Minnesota. The Lightning tied the series at 2 as well, and they won 7-3. And I watched that game. That was awesome. Oh my god. Well, I didn't watch all of it, but it was pretty fun. It was 5-0. So, yeah. So at one point. And then the Los Angeles Kings won 5-0 over the Edmonton Oilers, tying the series. So they got some revenge. So, and I'm just going to preview these games on May 9th. So, at 7 o'clock Eastern time, the Washington Capitals play the Florida Panthers, and if Washington wins, they go up 3-1 in the series and have a chance to move on. If the Florida Panthers win, they tie the series at 2. Then at 7 o'clock Eastern time as well, the Pittsburgh Penguins play the New York Rangers. And then the same thing as Washington. If they win, they go up 3-1, and if the Rangers win, they tie it. Colorado Avalanche at 9:30 Eastern time. As I said before, if they win tonight, they sweep the Nashville Predators, move on to the second round. And if Nashville wins, obviously they force a 5th game. And stay alive just for a little bit longer. But I think, based on what has gone down, I don't think that Nashville's going to win. And again, at 9:30 Eastern time, these two play. The Calgary Flames and the Dallas Stars play in Dallas. And if Dallas wins, they take a 3-1 series lead. If the Flames win, they tie the series. So that's all the games up until all the games, even including tonight's game 4s. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!